Y'all, today we need to talk about the modern day tragedy that is the Wizard101 member benefit. Wiz is planning like a gigantic launch on a console. There's a brand new audience that's about to experience Wiz for the first time, and I don't think there's ever been a better time to reevaluate membership, the benefits that come with it, the things that players ought to expect for paying for a game like Wiz monthly. And I think one of Wiz's biggest offenders of stupid membership practices is their member benefits. Now, if y'all don't know what I'm yapping about, if you don't know what a member benefit is, basically, right, when you purchase a monthly membership on Wiz, you get some inbuilt perks, things like, being able to add as many friends as you want, way more than the average player that doesn't pay member. You'll get extra backpack space. Obviously, you'll unlock every zone. That's the main reason to buy membership. But added on to that, every weekend for 3 days, Wiz puts out a member benefit so you can get some extra perks. And I'm sure if you follow them on social media or just play the game regularly, you've seen these pop up on your feed or the launcher. We got like things like double pet XP, double gardening, double reagents, double animus, right? The list goes on. They have a few things that you could do as a member and get extra loot. However, I feel like for the fact that you actually have to pay for things like that, it is kind of underwhelming. And to this day, I feel like it's one of the most untapped potential features that Wiz has ever put out. What are my main issues with member benefits, right? There are a couple. One, I feel like a lot of them expect you to make purchases to take full advantage of them. And two, I feel like they're somewhat outdated compared to all the things that we can farm for and interact with in the game today. Let's start with the first point, right? I think it's kind of self-explanatory, but right, whenever you pop one of these member benefit elixirs or whenever a member benefit is going up, a lot of the times in order to take full advantage of it, you'll end up making other purchases with crowns to get the best bang for your buck. I think a great example of this is double pet XP, right? Anytime I pop one of these elixirs or there's a double pet XP event going on, I'm gonna end up making tons of bases. I'm gonna end up training a bunch of pets. I'm gonna end up needing a bunch of extra elixirs to do it properly. Right, the way pet training is designed, it's either you pay for it so you can do it quick, or you can take your sweet ass time. But if you take your sweet ass time, you'll always miss the window to take full advantage of a double pet XP weekend, for example. So very, very often these double pet XP, events, all they're really incentivizing someone that already pays membership to do is buy a bunch of energy elixirs so you don't run out of energy to train your pet, buy a bunch of peros so you can reset your hatching timer so you can hatch more pets every time one fails. I don't really see how it's a member benefit when you're already paying and you end up having to pay more to actually take advantage of it. It almost seems like just an extra way to monetize the membership already. And though I think double pet XP is the biggest offender, it's not the only one. I think double scroll of fortune points, I think it's kind of crazy that if you pay membership, right, and you buy this, yes, you do get a discount, which is really, really nice. But for you to take full advantage of double scroll of fortune, you have to buy a scroll of fortune. You still have to end up buying this, which is 7,500 crowns, even as a member, to take advantage of it. Second chance chest reroll. Now, this one, I don't think it's that bad, but it only gives you one free chest per day that you do any given boss. You're probably going to end up, once you see one chest not give you something, you're probably going to throw in crowns anyways. I feel like it's just a way to get you in a position where you're more comfortable spending crowns because you're already there, right? If I did a dungeon to get my free second chance chest reroll from it, let's say I really wanted something, that's why I'm there and I didn't get it, chances are, since I've already gone through the effort, I'm probably going to end up throwing more crowns in. What I hate about the fact that some of these member benefits really put you in a position where you're gonna want to spend crowns is that the ones that don't are very, very few and far between, right? Unlike double pet XP, something like the gardening benefit, which is basically every time you harvest, you get double, reagents, double snacks. People always ask me how I never run out of pet snacks. It's because every single time there's a gardening benefit, I make sure to garden all of my gardens that drop mega snacks. You get hundreds and hundreds of snacks if you have a lot of seeds. Now, don't get me wrong, right? The type of seeds that drop mega snacks, cabbage potatoes, and evil magma peas, you could, I guess, spend crowns on them, but you could also farm for them. That's kind of the way I got most of them. So if you use that method, right, something like double, harvest rewards every time this member benefit rolls around, it's actually a really, really nice thing. However, this one, They do not do it often at all. In fact, the last time they did it was literally months ago, and the one before that, even more months in between. I'd say the two that really fall into this category are the gardening benefit and the double reagents benefit. Those seem to give the player a lot. You won't see them often. In fact, I have a theory that they put out many more double pet XP events than double gardening, because they want you to run out of all the snacks that you get from double gardening, so you're more likely to buy more seeds, buy more mega snack packs. I think that's 1,000,000,000% the way they do it. How would they fix that? I think they should give the benefits that actually give the player something, you know, without having to really spend any more money. We're really talking about crafting, gardening, and zero energy fishing. Those should happen quite a bit more often. Maybe they should do that concurrently with other member benefits that maybe are more of a negative for you when you want to not spend crowns. At least if they do that, it feels like, okay, you can get stuff for free during a weekend, or maybe you could, like, you know, if you're feeling like spending some, you could spend a little bit of crowns to actually get something more in return. You could make the choice. It would be nice if they ran multiple events that do different things like that at the same time, instead of spacing them out in this weird and crusty way. But y'all might have remembered at the beginning of this video, I said that I have two problems with the way member benefits work. It's not just the fact that some of them literally require extra purchases to really do well with it. The other thing is, I think they're really outdated. I think Wiz has this like really crazy ass economy now around things like spellaments, and we've yet to see a member benefit like double spellament drops. I feel like people would go crazy for them. Additionally, although they've added events where you could do things like, you know, get stitch tokens for doing like, you know, like rate my stitch, there's no real benefit that actually gives you free stitching. I feel like if any time they would run that, I'd just change my stitch and get a new look, and I would feel good about it by being a member. I'd feel like, oh, this is just something I got for being a member that I wouldn't have had otherwise. Also, I think the reality is, since these member benefits first got launched, a majority of Wizard101's audience is grown up, and they don't mind spending a little bit of crowns here and there, but when they want to, they're met with some crazy prices for like a whole lot of things. Why not every now and then have a member benefit where everything in the crown shop, or at least the best-selling items, are on sale, instead of just putting things on sale here and there? Right? Are you still making purchases? Sure, but at least it's on a discount because you're a member. These are just some ideas. I'm sure y'all got plenty of ideas in the comments, and I'm sure they'll see this video, so y'all should comment them. But the point I'm trying to make is, I feel like they have not really adapted member benefits beyond their initial launch, and so many things have changed in the game. And in my opinion, a lot of people are looking at this type of stuff and they're making real decisions that consumers make when they're like, oh, is a membership worth it or not? Right? You don't just have a bunch of kids asking for their parents' credit cards. Like, you know, this is their own money. They have to think about whether it's worth it. And I feel like Wiz has yet to acknowledge that and actually adapt to the times. I deadass dream of a world where, especially because, you know, maybe there's an opportunity with console launching and all of these other platforms where people can play Wiz for the first time. I dream of a day where Wizard101 membership is not involved in unlocking zones at all. Right? If their argument is that they need the amount of revenue that they get from memberships in order to, you know, keep the game running, I think that's totally valid, and I think it's fine. I mean, it's an indie company. They're trying to make things work, right? I don't think it's realistic to say, let's just ban membership altogether, just, you know, throw it out and just, you know, see what happens. I'm gonna assume that's too much of a risk, right? So what if the alternative was, instead of maybe not just making sure that membership isn't a thing at all, maybe just give people more incentives to buy memberships for things other than unlocking zones, right? And I think member benefits, they fall pretty squarely under that. If this were to be like, you know, like if they run new member benefits and see people buying membership as a result of them, I'm sure they have a way of measuring that. Maybe they can think about, oh, instead of doing it 3 days a week, we could do it all the time. Maybe we could, like, you know, rotate them more aggressively. Right? I'd love to see some experimentation on that, so we could actually, you know, just hope at least for more free zones, more access to the game, especially for people that don't want to pay, because let's be honest, even people that pay membership without making any other extra purchase, their experience is a lot different than people that spend a lot on this game. So why not give people access to the game so that they can actually decide whether it's worth a purchase or two, so that, you know, they can get something that they want out of the game more. I think that really should be where Wiz's mindset is. I'm not sure if member benefits are the, like, you know, golden goose in all of this, but I really think they should reassess the way they work in general. Let me know what you guys think. People were talking about this on the stream a few days ago, and I was really thinking, like, Why aren't there other member benefits? Why have we not had a new one in so many years? But I'd love to hear y'all's thoughts on your experience with membership or member benefits in general, especially if you're like a console player. Love to hear y'all's thoughts on this. And let me know what ideas that y'all have, things that y'all would have always liked to see for member benefits in this game. I look forward to reading all of y'all's thoughts and comments. Drop a like if you enjoyed, leave a sub if you're new, and as always, if somebody hasn't told you you're awesome today, they doing something wrong. Stay awesome, y'all. See y'all soon. And yeah.